Hey, welcome back. We're going to take a look at the Foredom and how to use the Foredom safely in this video. So the Foredom consists of three major parts. You have the motor, the handpiece, and the foot pedal. For right now, I'm just putting them right here so that you can see them. The motor is going to rest over your dominant hand shoulder. So if I'm right hand, it's going to be on my right side. The motor has a forward motion on, an off, and a backward motion on. So it either spins clockwise or counterclockwise depending on what you're choosing to use. For right now, most of you can just use the forward motion button. Now this is going to hang on behind you, so all you need to do is reach behind you to turn it on and off. When you're done using it, make sure to turn it off. The handpiece is going to come over your working arm shoulder, so again it's coming over my right hand shoulder. It has a chuck in it that you will be using a chuck key to open and close the jaws of this to put a variety of mandrels in it to use for your pieces. Now the Foredoms are really good for really teeny pieces that might get lost if you're working on the large polisher. You need to do some really fine detail work that you can't get into by hand. And then the third piece of it that we're going to take a look at is the foot pedal, and that controls the speed of the Foredom. And remember that this is a residential zone, not a highway zone, so we're going to go at a fairly slow pace. And as always, safety first. So you're going to go ahead and get set up and make sure that your glasses are on, your hair is tied back, you've removed any scarves and loose clothing, and you're ready to go. Now, there isn't a lot of friction created when you're using this, so you probably don't have to protect your fingers with these things from heat, but if you feel more comfortable doing so, please feel free to do that. Oftentimes what I might do on a small piece is put one of the leather finger collets on, and that just kind of helps me hold it in place and see it better than if I were resting it against my finger. So I'm going to go ahead and get the piece I'm working with on here. I've got two pieces that I might demo with. This one is at the polishing stage. This one needs a little bit of emery work on here. I did all the hand filing and it was ready to go. There's a little bit of solder right here I want to remove. That's a filing issue. If I need to remove metal, remember I need to be a little more aggressive. So these are diamond bits, and these are just like the hand diamond files we use, but they have a variety of shapes to help you get into those smaller surfaces. So I'll probably use one of these guys to get in to clean that up. Chuck key, there's three different places to open and close this. Righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. So I'm going to go ahead and get this to the point where my mandrel fits in. And there is a mandrel for just about everything in here, from the grinding to the polishing and everything in between. I'm going to go ahead and tighten that with my chuck key. It lives back here in this gray turnstile. I can hold my handpiece like a pencil, or I can overhand grip, but I really think the most important thing is to kind of connect and work as one with both hands. I'm going to brace my wrists on my working surface and my elbows on the working surface as I go, and that just helps me with the stability. Again, I cannot remind you enough, ladies, if you have bangs, if your hair is over your ears, please, please, please get that tied back, because if your hair gets caught in this as it is moving, you are not physically fast enough to get it out of there before it comes out of your scalp. So it will grow back, but it is incredibly painful. So hair tied back, make sure you get that out of the way. So I'm going to come in and work on this. I am using this. I often connect my finger to my other hand so that it works like one. So all I'm doing is filing right here. And if you have some solder to remove or you have some areas to file, be patient. It's a light touch and you're moving metal, so it takes some time. Now I'm going residential speed, nice, 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 but if you do this, that's highway speed. Many of you are going to be tempted to do that. If everybody in this room drove highway speed, these would not last for very long, so residential only, please. So one of your options that you guys, common thing that you might use is a diamond bit to do some filing on there. I'm going to shift this over so I open that up. Please put your bits away. All of these four boxes are located behind the teacher desk, so you take one bit at a time as you need it and then go from here. The next most common thing that you might use is the split mandrel. And the split mandrel is a beautiful thing for emerying. And it doesn't have the grit on it yet to work with. So I'm going to take a piece of 400 emery paper. Remember, that's our starting emery. And I'm going to cut about a half an inch length of my emery paper. And it's going to slide into the split right in here. And it's pretty loose. So what I would like you to do in order to have it stay is fold it once, sometimes twice works better. So I'm just folding it a little bit on itself. And then that way it's going to stay inside this split mandrel. And then I'm going to hand kind of wrap that just to give it a little bit of muscle memory. It's going to open up, and that's okay. Once I use it more, it will stay tightly around that. So if you have a longer area to emery, or a bigger area to emery, the split mandrel works really nice. But unfortunately, you get a cleaner emery if you do it by hand. That's just the way it is. So this is going to be could be a little blotchy as you go back through there. So I'm going to go ahead and pull this to emery on this. And I have a stamped texture in here, so I roll milled the texture in it, but I just want kind of a satin finish on top of that, so I'm just going to lightly go over that. And then if I turn this would be one reason why you would change it to reversed to the 2 on the motor, because as I do this, the grit of the emery is no longer being visible, so it's not doing me any good. So I'm going to go ahead and reach back, reverse that turn, and I am good to go with this. So I come up right against my piece, and I'm going to move it. Really important that you keep your mandrel moving at all times. You don't want to hold it in one place. And if I hit my skin right here, all I'm doing is kind of exfoliating it, so it's not going to hurt me right there. It's just if I get hair caught in here when it's going, that'll rip it out. So I come in here. After I've used this after I've worn it out, the only thing that gets worn out is this last bit. So when all of that gets worn out, all I have to do is rip that off. That's trash. And then I'm ready with some fresh emery paper to continue on doing this right here. Again, residential, not highway. Little teeny circles right in here, and safety first, nice good solid grip on both of your materials and your handpiece right here, braced on the deck right here, and picking the appropriate tool for what you need. These are an assortment of polishers. So I've got, if you have wire, this feels rough, but it does polish. And you would want to put some polishing compound on that, which you can find in that gray turnstile as well. If you see any of these kind of pumice wheels, these are plastic. The pink and the green polish at different rates, and then you have these soft buffing wheels. This is going to be the most common one that you use. If you end up one with that pointed metal, make sure you're not hitting your piece with that, because that's going to damage it. So these softer metals, or softer puffing wheels, you'd want to go ahead and put some polish on that as you are working in here, and it can get messy. And then bristle discs are really nice for around stone areas, or if you need to get into an area that you can't get into by hand. And you turn the direction of the mandrel is going to go so that it goes with those little bristles. You don't want to go against them, because then it's looking like it's having a bad hair day and you're just going to ruin these. And they have different colors, and the different colors correspond to the different grits. So red is one of our roughest. Then blue equates to about a 400 emery, and then this is a light polish for the pink right here. And if you look at this, they're just kind of wispy lines. They're not very consistent and aggressive. So if you are polishing a large piece, this is not the smartest of choices. This, however, would be a good choice to get into those angles in those smaller pieces, because I would not want to put this up against the large polisher. I have nothing to hold on to, and that would probably get ruined if I did. So safety first. Don't forget about turning off when you're done and cleaning this surface up. We have some dustpans. You can wipe that off when you're finished. And until next time, bye-bye.